Welcome to the Friday Nights. I'm Jason Sandberg. Fellas, I had a fantastic week. I once again saw our trailer, and in Act 4 of our trailer, there is a murderer's row of comic books flying across the screen. Craig's book, Aaron's book, my books, our friends' books. It is amazing the quality and the variety that we are bringing to bear. If only you could walk into your LCS and find books like those, it would be a completely different world. Another reason why I'm having a great week is that I got this beauty in the mail this week, and I'm a huge Mike Barron fan. Looking forward to reading this. I'll let you know what I think. And as always, I am hard at work on Jupiter issue 2. Jupiter issue 1 is in demand on Fun My Comic and Indiegogo. I am on the march to 10K. I'm approaching $9,400. My goal is to get the book to 10K before I launch Jupiter issue 2. I'm about halfway done with Jupiter issue 2. It will be launching in 2025. But I've been making the rounds. You may have seen me out there. Jackknife saw me cheating on y'all. I was on a different show, a couple different shows this week. But go check it out. I'm plugging away. Going to get the book to 10K, get that 5-figure bragging rights, and then we'll be on to issue 2. But again, just excited just to be here, to see that trailer, all the fantastic books that us and our friends are making. Craig, top my week. Can you top my week? How was your week?
No, I don't know. I might be able to try. I'm telling you, I was reading all the comments in the chat. I almost forgot what I was doing. Hey, I got a show to manage and stuff.
With Canadian internet too.
That's right. Yeah, which has improved drastically, luckily. Our guest last week was Chris Fisk. So I've been checking out his
and did you get both versions?
No, just this one. But I mean, this has got to be a record. This showed up in 6 days.
Nice.
Like I've never received a book that fast, but yeah, it's really great. It's fantasy, I love this stuff, so it's very cool book. I was getting into that, and then we were talking about the comic convention. I don't know if you remember, I was saying I was going to that this weekend. Surprisingly, reception was really well. To basically tie off that story, I mean, I'm not going to say 100% trust. I never trust anybody, but basically, after they canceled me at that comic convention. Apparently they got canceled. I didn't ask the details.
Okay.
People, they got for other reasons. Yeah. Cancel culture eventually comes around and bites its own people. But various people told me what they thought they did to me was unfair.
Nice.
They said, you didn't deserve any of that. They said, people need to just mind their own business.
Yep.
So no, I hope they keep that up. So I'm very positive about going to these East Coast comic conventions now.
I am so happy for you. Your own little journey here, and you're starting a new chapter. It's a new era. The universe is healing. We're all happy for you, man.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, and I'll keep you updated. But I ran into Larry.
Cool.
And I know you've been on a show with him, Aaron. Especially, he said he had nice words to say about your reference. What went down, some of the drama. But in any case, I ran into him. We traded books, and he's been welcome back to the conventions as well. He was another one out here. He was canceled for a few years. I'm back at the conventions. He's back at the conventions. I got a new dentist. So again, a very, very positive week for me. I don't know if that outdoes you.
No squirrels in the chimney. No squirrels in the chimney.
No, and the market, because it's now August, the sales are really improving because people are jamming that local market in the city I live in. So I had really good sales on Thursday too for my comic.
Very cool.
Yeah, very nice. My week. How was your week? I'll jump to you, Aaron. How was your week?
My week was great, actually. My 13-year-old daughter, she was away for like 4 days at horse camp, and then at the end of the horse camp, on the 4th day, they we see the horses, and they whoa, what's up, Chris?
Oh, wow.
And then they put on a little program, like a parade with the horses, and they got the songs going on and stuff. It was really cool. This is like her 3rd or 4th time doing it, so. It was nice. It's a nice little ranch that she goes to, and it's pretty funny because they play patriotic songs, which was nice, especially in this day and age. And it was just kind of funny because growing up in the 80s, one of the songs that they played was from the 80s. What is it? They Come Into America, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Diamond. Yeah.
Neil Diamond.
And I'm like, I don't know if I really like that song so much right now. And then, the second one was, what was it? Proud to Be an American, which is always nice to hear. I do like that song. So, awesome. It was a good show. And then also, on top of that, my son brought this to my attention. Magnus, Robot Hunter, my 9-year-old, he's like slowly, he's kind of into comics and stuff like that. But he found this one and he picked it up for himself. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. It is from February. I don't know what year. Number 33, and it was for $2.25 at one time. So
very cool. If he turns out Lucky Magnus, there's a Nexus Magnus crossover. It was just 2 issues with art by Steve Rude and the story by Mike Barron. Highly recommend it. So check. That might get him into Nexus as well.
This is the ad on the back. It's from the 90s, right? The dual turbo.
Yes.
Solid controller without the hassle of a cord. Hilarious. Yeah, I think he picked it up because his middle name is Magnus. So he's like, oh, Magnus. But I like Valiant. I used to kind of dabble with Valiant back in the 90s and stuff, especially when they had like that. Was it the Death? Can't remember the name. It was like the crossover where they had everybody come together between was it Image and Valiant?
Yes.
Here we go. Solar. Yeah.
So this is so Valiant did their take on Solar, and I think Barry Windsor Smith drew it. But this is like a 1-issue reprint of the 60s Dr. Solar, and the art is fantastic. It's like Al Williamson level art. So I highly recommend that. If
they could have just abbreviated his name to Soul and
De La Soul.
I like that classic style.
Yeah, good stuff.
So our guest this week is James. James, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for the invite, and I'm glad you guys had a good week.
Yeah,
I spent the last week comatose. Was completely brain dead because the week before was Gen Con. And 5 days of Gen Con, burning the candles at both ends, staying up at a few dance parties.
You bastard! You were at Gen Con? Cool.
I did.
I missed it this year.
I spent more money than I want to admit.
Did you come back with the convention crud?
There we go. Crud, yeah.
Okay, James, I'm going to do a Control-Alt-Delete. James, how was last week?
Week before this week is fantastic, man. Nice. I got an 8-man Airbnb 5 minutes from the front door of the convention center.
Oh, perfect.
Holy crap.
It's easier to get the costume girls home, right? Just
if I found it.
Oh,
I was looking.
Yeah.
Did you have the signs every 100 meters there? Cosplay is not consent.
Oh no. That really doesn't have those issues.
Like I'm an expert dice roller. Come on. No.
Yeah. So that was a blast. That was like my big vacation of the year with all my friends, and I spent this week recovering.
Very good.
Fair enough.
Well, we're glad to have you, and we're also glad to have the 38 people who are watching us live. That's fantastic. We're only 15 minutes into the show, got 38 viewers. Craig, who is in the chat?
Yeah. So first off, I think Jason saw an opportunity. First,
it's my first time being first, people. I had to do it.
Vulcan checked in. He just let us know he's going to catch us in the replay. He's doing stuff with his family this weekend. Awesome. And thank you so much, Vulcan. Vulcan's been here pretty much every episode. I think Jack Knight can now, put an extra notch. I think he's probably got been on more episodes than Vulcan.
Outdid him.
And then, speaking of which,
Jack
thank you
Knight
for the heads up. And then Digital Aboriginal, I was in the chat. Again, thank you so much, Digital, for coming in and hanging out with us every Friday. Here's the Let's Go controversy. I was reading that a little bit. Like, what happened with Let's Go?
I missed it.
Yeah, it was in there. It was in there. Remember to vote for Tolbert.
Yep. He will bring about a utopia. Local candidate.
Oh, okay.
Okay, gotcha. Now, some of them I don't. Yeah. Oh, here's Chris again. Chris stopped by. If Chris is still here, shout out. Chris going through a bit of hard times. He could use some prayers, and I've been praying for him. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for stopping by. Derek Clay says howdy. Howdy to you as well. Derek, thank you so much for joining us. So yeah, as you said, we're up to 42, and that's the chat at this point. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us on a Friday night.
Yep, we've got the analytics tell us we've got 42 live viewers. Thank you to everybody who's hanging out with us. We're here to help you kick off your weekend, have some fun, have some laughs, look at some good projects, and also some news stories that probably flew under the radar. It is an election year. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's hard for the more important stories to break through all the noise. So you come to us every week for a in-depth analysis of 3 key news items that flew under the radar. Craig, what is the first news topic for this week?
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, as you're stating, every Friday night, we're now 10 p.m. Eastern. You get 90 minutes, 3 topics with 1 guest creator. And our first topic for this week came from Indy 100. A world's oldest pyramid built 25,000 years ago, that would be pre-Younger Dryas, was not made by humans, archaeologists claim. And I was like, not made by humans? What are they trying to say? Neanderthals made a pyramid? But you go through the article, basically what the not made by humans is they're trying to argue that it's a natural phenomenon. It may have originated as a natural phenomenon. I think it's probably a blend of the two. It was probably a natural mountain, and then humans came and shaved it down and shaped it into a pyramid and dug caves, dug tunnels and stuff into it, and then built monuments on the top of it, which when the Ice Age came through, pushed all those rocks off the side of it, which, this is why there's different scientists. There's those scientists who deny that there's any civilization before the Younger Dryas, and those of us that are a little bit more open-minded and don't think that all that technology just emerged while people were hiding from the winter. But I'll leave it there if anyone wants to jump in.
James, with your oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Chris Faction already knows what it was. Atlantis. Hey, we already know it's Atlantis. Come on, dude.
Okay, so I hope you guys realize you brought a hard science fiction nerd on as your guest to talk about.
There it is.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
So when you sent me this page, their evidence that it wasn't man-made was that it's a carved lava formation, as though humans didn't carve it.
Right.
Like, so I will proudly say this, because this isn't even a hot take. I hate journalists. Really dumb take. So to this day, we don't know how the pyramids were actually built. We don't actually have a schematic of how it was done that works with the technology we believe they had at the time. They did it. We can still go there. They're pretty damaged, but personally, I ascribe to it might be poured concrete blocks.
Thank you. Wow, somebody else says it. Thank you. Yes, poured blocks, of course.
The problem with this one, where it's a lava formation, is you actually can date the age of a carving if you know the stone that was carved. That doesn't mean these particular archaeologists understood how to actually measure it to get an accurate measurement. Because there's some really delicate nuance in the microstructure of the surface where that can introduce huge margins of error on this. Right. So, like, theoretically, if they didn't know what they were doing, they could be overestimating by a factor of 10.
Oh yeah, the numbers are all over the place. They're like, it could be 18,000, could be 25,000. Some, like they're saying, it's either pre-Younger Dryas or after. They're all over the place. And then the one person who's championing it the most, I mean, it's in Indonesia and happens to be Indonesian. So obviously he's going to want to push that, being it's his own country. But
so you guys familiar with Göbekli Tepe?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
the ancient structure that is buried, and the owners want a lot of people to dig it up.
Yeah, there's like 2 sites like that in Turkey, isn't there? Göbekli Tepe is like the most famous one, I think, right now.
Yes, for sure.
Hold on, are we showing off Doritos suddenly?
Yes, what you got? Nice. Okay, we'll allow that. It's not Cool Ranch, but we'll allow it. Good man.
Look, I can't get fiery habanero anymore, and I don't know why. Bring it back, fiery habanero.
We used to be a proper country.
But yeah, no, Golby. Sorry, I'm gonna screw up the pronunciation. I'm not gonna attempt it. But
Canadians.
The interesting part of that is that it's in different layers, and there's different times to different layers because obviously they were expanding it. If they were crammed in there for 10,000 years, or whatever, a couple thousand years, of course they're going to build more rooms and more chambers and more caves. So, and there's evidence that they had animals in there, and they had like a kitchen in there, and livestock, and sleeping quarters, and yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's perfectly normal to structure a monument that it's a generational project to show how old your kingdom is.
Yeah.
The Cologne Cathedral. I mean, with the technology they had in the late medieval times, that took a couple hundred years to build.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, fun factoid: there is a small town in England that started a monument that's supposed to be they add another like concrete tombstone every 10 years, and when they fill the square they made, it's supposed to mark like 500 years from the founding of the town or something, because they started at 250, and it's like a 5x5 grid or something like that. Except they screwed up the math.
Oops.
They're actually going to hit 500 years the square before they're complete. Math is important, folks.
Right.
Well, and see, with this, speaking of that, with this pyramid stuff, it's like, if it doesn't hit actual math, like geometry, square geometry, I would be much more inclined to say, yeah, it's probably a natural formation. But if it's hitting like actual geometric shapes and mathematics, then I can't just immediately say, yep, clearly it's natural. It's like, I mean, geometry itself was considered almost like it was a sacred math. For like the Sumerians and everything.
It's a way to show off your wisdom, right? Like it's a way that we should be in charge. I can point to the sky and tell you when the sun will black out. I have all these measurements.
Well, even like the basics of metaphysics. Sorry to interrupt. Because like the basics of metaphysics, a lot of it comes from, or can be demonstrated with geometry. So at least that's what the ancients believed, and that's what they were doing back in the day. So, if like those sides are perfect or whatever, angles and whatnot, like I don't know how natural that is.
Yeah, I find archaeologists also have a bad habit of underestimating how long a project can be allowed to take. Because even if there wasn't a real civilization at the time, they're going to have years that are warm and wet and just produce absurd amounts of food, and they don't have to work hard that year. And they make a religious point of, we're going to, honor our ancestors. We're going to carve a bit more of this mountain, and that just happens every 5-10 years when they have a surplus. And hey, check it out! It took 1,000 years, but we finally carved this.
That's right.
Like no one wants to imagine that a structure took 1,000 years to make.
Well, they had multi-generational wars, multi-generational projects. Like it was not unfound to be born and live and die in the entire duration of a specific fight between two warring cities, and that's all you've known your entire existence. So, yeah. But does anyone else have anything else you want to add on? Reference more evidence yet again that there's probably no doubt that human civilization existed prior to the last ice age, and then it came.
Oh no, that's aliens.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just so ridiculous. I think humans were just, we were just climbing up trees and animals, and then the ice age came, and then we emerged, and we had all these sciences, and bam, civilization took off with a full sprint. Like that is not how.
Well, I mean, a lot of that I think is just a nod from like Victorian era, where they were trying to make time linear and disrupt church doctrine of the timeline of human history. So anything that they could fit in there, they're going to, like.
And let's not forget, it took them 600 years to admit the Earth was round when they already knew it was round. It took them 600 years to admit it.
No. Admitting it wasn't admitting that the Earth was round. It was admitting that there were moons around other planets.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's
because originally the round, right? Like that was all measured in BC time.
Aristotle knew the Earth was a sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember the name of that guy. I went down the rabbit hole of flat Earth arguments, so I'm listening to everything they have to say, kind of thing. Not saying I'm flat Earth at all, but I'm listening to them and all. And they, they always often they'll bring up the Greek philosopher who like tested the theory of, shadows and distance and all that other shit. And so, and I'm pretty sure that was like 1000 BC or something. So the idea that the Earth is round has been around for quite a while. So, but yeah.
Can anyone point out a stellar object out there that's shaped like a record? Like, there ain't one.
That's why we're on the firmament.
Well,
yeah. Yeah.
The real red pill is the Great Snowball Earth theory. The Earth is actually a sphere 10,000 times bigger than you think it is, and there's just more Earths on the other side of the ice wall.
Let's get through the ice wall.
Let's make it even more ridiculous. Yeah,
I love it. The fantasy, and it's so funny. I think a lot of that stuff is reflective. Is like, sorry to go on a little bit of a tangent, but it's like the left has like identity, and we're gonna get all crazy with what identity means, and then like the right had their conspiracy theories, is like, well, is everything that we've been told actually true? So it's like on both sides of the political spectrum are completely under attack. Like there's the basics of what reality is. It's pretty interesting if you don't even subscribe to either one, just watching them both freak out over everything.
Staying as a neutral party.
Yeah.
All right, we will continue. This story may be 25,000 years old, but we will continue to stay on it as new news emerges. Craig, what's our next topic?
Sure. So the next one comes from the Atlantic. I never thought I don't know if I pulled anything from the Atlantic before, but no one is ready for digital immortality. So this is a news article. Here, I gotta put it's time for me to try to read again. What's his name there? Hani Farid and his wife. In any case, he's one of those people that messes around with AI, and he's it says in the article, him and his wife going back and forth, considering basically if one of them dies.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be him because he's 58 and she's 38.
Right. Yeah, there's a 20-year age gap. But basically creating
for him.
Creating an AI that mimics his behaviors and his personas and his quirks and his use of language. And then when he passes, she can basically cling on to this computer program as if it's still her husband.
So I want to ask the chat, should we, we are going to do the soul tag NFT. That's a foregone conclusion. But on the technology front, should we pull our money and do a Chris Faction AI bot? Because Chris isn't on the show anymore, but we could get in we could take all of the past shows, run through an algorithm and distill it down to a Chris Faction AI, which could be on the panel here, dropping some quips. Let us know in the chat.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Will you feed the AI into an anime VTuber avatar?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a big difference.
I was talking about this, that the future of YouTube is going to be somebody surrounded by big-breasted AI co-hosts. Like that's
well, he did try to flash his chest several times when he was on the show. He did. So those of you in the chat, do a 1 if you think it's a bad idea, and a 2 if you think it's a good idea. Chris Faction AI celebrity bot for the show. James, what are your thoughts on this? Like, if you could have an AI celebrity bot in your home or a past loved one, would you do it, and who would it be?
But the big point takeaway is it's definitely not like who it is you're making. It's mimicking them, right? And
so I'm definitely down with the waifu sex bot angle. However, it's clearly not the person it's imitating. Even if you give the argument that it's a sentient being, you're talking about an actor imitating someone. It does not have the essence, no matter how good they are imitating them. It is an imitation unless you can somehow transfer the soul of the person into that, which current technology cannot do. Unless the lizard overlords are far more advanced than we think.
Garbage in, garbage out. Like, oh gosh, like I love this mimicry of my loved one, except for every now and again they cuss at me in Polish. I don't know what that's about. Whoops.
Well, technology is moving at a fast pace, probably a faster pace than many of us can grasp. we are bringing to you an investigative report on the dangers and the risks of some celebrity AI death bots that are currently out there on the market. They're in the testing phase. But we feel it's important to talk about this and then show you the pros and cons. So let's look at our lineup. What is the first AI celebrity death bot that is out on the market?
Yeah, as I'm pulling this up, there's one thing I want to touch on is always look on the whatchamacallit. I'm a pessimist with everything that happens. My big thing with this is expect it to be hacked by some country, and then they convince your AI to start getting you to make purchases, or hey, if you send $19.99 or whatever, right? Yeah, that's what I see.
I mean, I'm pretty sure having a significant other already drives you to purchases you don't want to make.
Right,
yeah, right.
Exactly.
So is that a picture of Justin Belmont? Because it looks a lot like him. Just asking.
Yes, go back to the Fox. Yes, that is correct. All right, let's look at the first one that's available for sale out there.
All right, next slide.
Next slide. All right, so you love sci-fi, you love fantasy, you love this author. He's famous for the Game of Thrones series. Would you not want to have your own George R.R. Martin AI chatbot? It could hang out with you. It could take in the news of the day and spin it through the filter of A Song of Ice and Fire. Aaron, how much wouldn't you just love to have George R.R. Martin hanging out with you?
Okay, so my question is will it at least finish the damn series?
Next slide.
Will it do that?
Next slide.
There's a lawsuit about that.
All right, warning. He will. The AI bot. The AI bot.
I walked right into that, didn't I?
He may be immortal. He may be immortal, but this AI bot for George R.R. Martin will not finish The Winds of Winter or any of the other books in the series. James, are you disappointed?
I have stopped caring about Winds of Winter. Free yourselves from these chains, I beg you. There are so many other fantasy books to read. Okay, there are a lot of other authors out there.
I'll give you the
many hold that up again. Hold that up again.
There.
We'll get more into James over later, but that was a good call out there.
Me and Jason playing tug of war with the buttons. Okay.
All right. We currently have 57 people watching live. This is a breaking news story. The mainstream media has been trying to cover it up. The threat posed by AI celebrity chatbots. Craig, what's the next AI chatbot out there?
Would you really want an AI Crispin Glover?
Yes.
I know Digital Aboriginal, and he would. In fact,
I would.
Digital Aboriginal had a college roommate who was pretty much Crispin Glover.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
All right.
Keep your damn hands off her, Biff. Okay.
All right. Guys,
great as Mr. World, by the way.
She is a celebrity phenomenon. She is an influencer. She is everywhere in the media. James, would you or your loved one just die to have a Kim Kardashian AI celebrity bot?
Not gonna lie, you showed that image. I was like, "Oh, am I supposed to know who this is?"
It's Kim Kardashian. She can give makeup tips. She can give fashion tips. She can tell you the latest celebrity gossip. Would it be better just to have her
money to keep that out of my house?
Aaron, I know your guilty pleasure is keeping up with the Kardashians. Wouldn't you just rather have your own celebrity bot?
All right. So a celebrity bot, yes. Kim, I don't think so. Like, I would like to be entertained, and I don't find anything entertaining. Like, she looks okay. So you know how fake this picture looks? That's basically the best.
Like.
Yeah, that's just like the best. That's the best description of her whole personality. Like I can't imagine she has much. Like, she's very shallow. Let's be honest.
I thought her rear end was more famous than her face was.
It is. Okay. So guys, I think that we're not the audience to buy this, but those of you out there who are watching this, who are Kim Kardashian fans, there is a warning we want to share with you. If you want to buy this AI celebrity bot, there is a warning. Craig, next slide. Yes, if you get the Kim Kardashian AI bot, it requires large backups.
Nice.
Just large backups. So okay. All right. Next, Craig.
Stealing the jokes. Yeah.
All right. Amber Heard.
Oh shit.
Beautiful. What I think People Magazine said she is the perfect, most beautiful woman who's ever lived. They did a scientific study of her facial features, the proportions, the symmetry, the grace, the presence. Aaron, is she not just the most beautiful woman you've ever seen?
Most ever? No, but I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. You know what I mean?
James, would you kick her out of bed for shitting?
Probably.
At least make her clean it up.
I mean, it depends. Like, did she do it by accident, or is it like, oh, that's her?
No, according to Johnny Depp, she does that on purpose. She does that on purpose.
Look, the crazy hot matrix is in full effect with this one. So
that's like right on the line at that point.
Guys, when she's AI, she's not going to age anymore. You're going to have peak Amber Heard and all of her opinions and her personality and her effervescence.
Everything you need. Yes.
They're fake anyways. I can go with 2D. Come on.
All right.
Effervescence like her fart.
So, fellas, clearly the panel here, we're not down with buying this AI bot. But for those of you who are on the fence, who might want to shell out some money for this, buyer beware. Craig, next slide. Yeah, there's no refunds. Buyer beware. Once you buy it, that's it.
Johnny Depp got away.
Yeah, it cost him. It cost him.
He had to become the singularity to do it.
All right, we have 59 people watching live now. Clearly, word is getting out across the interwebs that we are on this case. We've got the scoop. People are coming here to find out the truth. Craig, next slide. All right, Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett.
I think HR requires me to say yes.
That's a lol cow.
so I watched a few episodes of Empire. Craig, are you a big Jussie Smollett fan?
No, I didn't know anything about him until the story that emerged about the 4 a.m. subway trip in Chicago.
James, are you a fan of the cinema? Are you a fan of the theater? Are you a Jussie Smollett fan?
I am not a fan. No. Of any of those categories, actually. Hollywood lost their credit with me.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, are you a believer in the hype? Are you a believer in the truth? Do you want to get to know Jussie Smollett?
Well, all right. So a black friend of mine actually told me who this person was when they came out with their news story. And I'm just glad that he was introduced to MAGA country. Like I live in MAGA country, so I'm glad that he gets a little taste of it and he knows what it's about now. And will he come back? I don't know, but we'll welcome him with open arms.
All right. So I like Jussie because I'm a Subway guy. I do not go for the greasy hamburgers. I don't go for the pizza. I go for Subway sandwiches. So he and I are simpatico. We're on the same wavelength. But those of you out there who are fans of his work, fans of the show Empire and whatever other shows he was in, I don't really know. But if you're fans of Jussie Smollett and you're thinking about, maybe I'm going to buy this. Maybe I'm going to buy this AI celebrity bot to have in my car, give me directions, hang out, get legal advice from Jussie.
How to tell a good story.
Yep. It's a free market. If you want to buy it, so be it. But you should know the following, Craig. The code tends to get hung up. So little glitch.
Bleach it.
Gets hung up. Yep.
All right, gentlemen, help me out. Jussie here had his ridiculous story. Wasn't there an athlete from like the NFL that had a similarly ridiculous story?
I know guy shot his girlfriend through the door or whatever. I don't know. I mean, you say crazy NFL stories. I mean, that's just casting a wide net.
Is that the one where the dude beat up his girlfriend in the elevator, or I don't know?
Honestly, the first guy I think of is the guy that had the illegal dogfighting pits in his backyard and then came back and played more.
Hey,
or what about who's it? That Peterson dude who had a whole beat your child room in his house. It's like, holy shit, dude.
It might have been NASCAR. Dude. Yeah, it was with the pulley string.
That also happened where the pull rope for a garage happened to be a loop.
Mhm.
And the guy said, "This is my time."
Hey, Jason, I got a question for you.
Yes.
You like Subway so much, and you and Juicy here are simpatico. Would you go out at 4:00 in the morning in downtown Chicago with like -20-degree temperatures to actually purchase a Subway sandwich? And second question, what sandwich would you get?
If I had a Subway within walking distance that was open at 4 a.m. that sold the wraps, I would go for the steak and cheese. And what I do is I have them toast the onions and green peppers on the cheese. But so yes, I would. I absolutely would. Damn straight.
I'm a flatbread kind of guy.
The other thing is I can walk around at 4 a.m. because these fists are registered as lethal weapons. So I'm good.
I hear Subway is great
you
for
take
losing
night
weight,
walks.
if you get AIDS.
Yeah. What's that?
I hear.
You want to repeat that?
Aaron got me there. I hear Subway is great for losing weight if you get AIDS. They assist. Woo! They assist you with choosing the low-calorie options.
we on the Friday nights want to disavow the comments of our guest.
Again.
Look at the screen.
I'm just repeating what was on mainstream television.
Oh yeah. No. So would I break bread, toasted Italian bread with seasonings with Jussie Smollett? I would. Would I break bread with that Jared guy? No way. No way.
No,
All right,
creepy.
Craig. Next AI. Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden. Party animal. Hunter Biden.
Dude knows how to get down. Let's be honest.
Dude
knows how to smuggle through Secret Service.
He knows how to get the party favors. He knows he can hook you up. Whatever you want, he can hook you up.
Does he also know how to speak Chinese? I mean, like
he
talks
does.
to him
Yes.
a lot. Okay.
Yeah. He's got his own PLE handler. Yes, he knows Chinese.
That's a good question, Aaron.
What's that? If Hunter Biden can speak Chinese.
Yeah, I'm actually curious.
Yeah, he speaks Ukrainian.
Yeah, Ukrainian. What do you suppose his favorite Subway sandwich is?
Let me try the AI. Let me check the AI to know how many languages AI Hunter Biden can speak.
Yeah. No, are you talking about the real Hunter Biden or the Hunter AI?
Oh, the Hunter AI can obviously just pull up a translate. Plugin. Like that's not fair. Obviously, he speaks 7,000 languages. So come on.
Yeah, but be advised though. If you do ask him a question, half the time he will plead the fifth.
Yes. He does speak Mandarin.
He does.
Wow. Bang! I knew it.
Now I'm jealous of him because I, as an American, can only speak American.
Now you gotta wonder: I don't want to say was he in that family? Was he sort of nurtured in the role that he sort of ended up, or he just fall into that on his own?
Joe Biden looked at his sons. He said, "I need the idiot to be the bag man, and this guy is never going to be elected to anything. He's the bag man." So this guy's been the bag man money launderer. So those of you who are hard into Blue Anon, who still believe that Joe Biden will be president or should be president or was completely competent and lucid up until like 2 weeks ago, if you are a diehard Bidenite and you want to get the Hunter AI, be advised we do have a warning for you. Next slide. Yeah, if you get the Biden, you can talk to it, do whatever, but immediately clear all your browser history immediately.
Yeah. And do not let it borrow your pistol.
Incognito just means it's saved. Google still knows what you searched.
Yeah. And if your computer breaks, do not bring it to a repair shop and leave it with them.
Yeah.
Nice,
pistols.
Nice.
Keep your pistol in the
closet. Dump it in acid and forget you ever had it.
All right. So I'm wondering what other AI death bots are out there? Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein. So
I could use the movie deal.
So
I'm just saying that now.
No, think about this,
sir.
Think about this. Storied career, many Oscars, knows everybody, has the dirt on everybody. He's seen it all. who would not want to have, you wouldn't maybe use it all the time, but who would want to have a Harvey Weinstein AI bot to, bounce some questions off? Maybe you got a script, you want to bounce it off him.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so much as wanting an AI bot. It's kind of being forced to do things for the AI bot.
Oh, God.
Advance your own.
Yeah. Use it as leverage, you know what I mean? You know who would want it? Kevin Smith. He's like, please. It's the only way he'd have a film career. You know who wouldn't? My potted plants. Please stay away from my plants.
Yes.
All right. So those of you that are on the fence and thinking about getting the Harvey Weinstein AI, we do have a caution for you. Go ahead. Yeah, you cannot get rid of it. You can't uninstall it. You can't move it to the trash. It keeps coming back. So once you have it, you might think you're rid of it. It comes right back.
Mm-hmm.
He even showed up at some Hollywood party, not too long ago. Like after everything, you're gonna show up.
Nobody didn't know.
No.
Yeah, wasn't that like the whole thing? There's that famous picture of like Oprah Winfrey introducing some actress, I don't know, and she looks very nervous.
Someone made a joke about not being left alone in Harvey Weinstein's office like 8 years before.
Was that Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like yes.
Yeah. Well, no, also what was it, like Meryl Streep or some shit? Like somebody like made an Oscar speech about it too.
I remember that.
They don't care.
He was a heavy fundraiser for the Democratic Party, and thereby he was untouchable. What's that?
It said really pumped those numbers up.
Pumped those numbers up. That's correct. All right, we got another one. I think there's one more. What's the next one? Oh, here you go. Who does not love the folksy comedy stylings of Bill Cosby? James, was it Fat Albert? Was it the Cosby Show? Was it the stand-up? How and when did you connect to Bill Cosby?
I'm sorry. Your question was who does not love him? I raised my hand for not love him.
Oh,
genuinely never worked. Jello pudding pops.
Pudding pops. Come on,
abandon those.
All right,
Aaron, help me out here.
I have to be the guy that says #justice for Bill Cosby. Okay, because dude's trying to buy ABC, and then suddenly allegations from 30 years ago come out. It's like, wait a minute, where was this the past 30 years? You know, like what? But now that you're trying to buy ABC. So I know that's black conspiracy talk, but they make good points.
Craig is a guy who was unfairly canceled by miscreants. What do you think about Bill Cosby?
Well, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't pull out the defense that the hip hop community was making lots of rap videos about Spanish Fly, right? It was very popular. He was just going with the flow, trying to be cool. But
listen, I what he did off stage, questionable, but you cannot dispute the intellect and the creativity and the comedy timing and the voices and the storytelling skills. Bill Cosby's an American treasure. Just
go back
fantastic.
to his
but what's
early big stand-up, the pudding pop and the dad is so great. He made us chocolate cake. Come on, guys, go back to his early stand-up.
And the curling.
And the TV show. I mean, the TV show where he's got the sweaters, he's got the beautiful wife and the kids, and just so wholesome and just wonderful. So anyways, I remember like early 80s, my uncle had Bill Cosby comedy albums, and here was the deal. This is a true story. The record player was on the second floor. And so we would sit down and we'd listen to Bill Cosby stand-up routines. And because it was a record player, we had to try to not laugh too hard, because we were laughing so hard it was making the floor shake and making the record scratch. So that's how good Bill Cosby is. So those of you out there who've got a soft spot like me for Bill Cosby, you may be tempted to get the Bill Cosby AI chatbot. There is a warning though, Craig. Yeah, do not leave it. Do not put your computer in sleep mode with the Bill Cosby app on it.
Yeah, where'd all this pornography come from?
You know what I was gonna say was long overdue for a new stand-up is Eddie Murphy. of all the people he made fun of, between Prince and Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, he's still here. Eddie Murphy is still here after all that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him revisit all those. And
I don't know.
I thought he was
like,
older.
I agree,
He's
but
only
it's such a
63.
skill that it has to be honed. Like I want to see him. I agree. I want to see him work a crowd like he did in his what was it? I can't remember
Raw
the name of
and
Delirious.
Delirious.
Delirious
Okay,
is better than
Delirious was the one I was thinking of. But yeah,
Yeah.
like let's see that. Yeah, for sure.
half those jokes you cannot do half. He can't do half those jokes now. But yes, I totally agree. All right, so I feel good that we exposed the public to the dark underbelly of the celebrity AI deathbot. Craig, what's our next topic?
Yeah, so our third and final topic for this evening comes from Kron. I don't know if there's a joke to be made about the name of that article, but asteroid worth 10,000 quadrillion. I don't know if they re-estimated how many quadrillion it was, because I've seen other things that say 700 quadrillion.
Real number?
I think that's a number that like AOC would say.
It's 10 pentillion, please.
Yeah. Trump would be like 10,000 quadrillion.
So the interesting thing about this asteroid, I think it orbits Earth because of the way its orbit is every 5 years or something to that effect. It's essentially a planet core of a planet that never completely formed. So it had its time like in the rotation, and then it's just an asteroid. But that's why it has so many precious metals, because they believe it's one of the failed planetary bodies from the earliest in our solar system's formation.
So James, were we to venture out there and mine this and bring the gold back, what would happen to the currently I think the spot price of gold is $3,500. What would be the spot price of gold if we actually brought that much gold down to Earth?
We'd all live like Mansa Musa 10 years after Mansa Musa visited.
Mm-hmm. Who's gonna run the McDonald's drive-through? That's my question.
No. So when I saw this, I had a question that I wanted to ask all of you, because clearly we have to capture this, but it is 144 miles long, which means the only way to get it is to crash land it on the planet. So, gentlemen, what country are we obliterating by capturing this asteroid?
Obliterate.
Someone has to die.
Look, I watched The Expanse. We'll just send out belters to go mine it.
This week I'm going to say the UK.
There is a correct option.
Bring it down.
Aaron, I'm so mad about the UK. Aaron, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying I've seen the show The Expanse, and we could just send belters out there to mine it all and bring it back, and it'll be fine. It's all right. China. I don't know. I kind of like China. We'll see. Everybody's like, ooh.
But yeah, it's interesting to think, because this is an international race. It's not just like Elon Musk is, go figure, he's the first one to send a spacecraft that's out there. Sent it like 2022. I haven't gotten the update on it, but he's the first one that's going to have like exploration on it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's
get photos from Pluto. Like a couple of months ago.
Yeah, from a telescope, but I mean, we've had Voyager. Voyager did its passes.
Was it different distant planet? Like literally, like 2 months ago, we landed on one of the outside planets.
I can't keep up with all of. Yeah, I know there's so much.
I thought this was your job.
Yeah.
Now listen, we all know space is fake and gay, so whatever they shot it.
Yeah, we are on flat
Earth. My question is all right, 10,000 quadrillion, and then you bring that, so that means
93
an
billion
ounce of
per
gold
person
is no longer 3,500, right? It's actually, well, I mean, gold would be nothing, right? What would that be?
I'm just gonna say like $10 an ounce or something like that. But the beauty is, you start like everybody lives like Trump. Everything's gold plated. Everything, and then the cost of the because gold is a great conductor, all that kind of stuff. So our technology gets better. What's it?
It doesn't rust.
We
can just make our bridges structure out of gold, and it will last for 10,000 years.
Yeah, or gold plated. Yeah, because gold it gets malleable. So in terms of like how much weight it can bear, but if you plate it, then everything's sealed up and nice.
Skyscrapers made of gold. I love it.
If you go to castles in the medieval ages and you see that everything was covered in gold leaf, You realize that was cheaper than paint, right?
I did not know that. I did not know that. Nice.
Gold leaf lasts for hundreds of years, and paint from the medieval ages had to be reapplied every year.
Okay.
Coating everything in gold leaf because it's gold and nothing happens to gold. It was actually significantly cheaper.
Nice.
Wow.
Craig, Alyssa Milano this week has been really hard on Elon Musk for spending $40 billion on X, Twitter, when he could have just solved world hunger. Do you think, should we ask Alyssa Milano if 10,000 quadrillion will solve world hunger?
If she can count that high, I don't know.
Well, we're just making up numbers at this point.
Yeah. Oogly boogly.
Well, look at the Federal Reserve balance sheet. We might be hitting the quadrillion pretty soon.
I thought that was a random number generator.
Yeah, they're not even counting the unfunded liabilities. Wait till they actually put that in there. Whoops.
So,
fun fact, a hedge fund actually did report using a random number generator because they didn't want to bother calculating what their investments were worth. So every time they had to file, they just generated a random number. They got sued for that about 3 years ago.
Was that Vanguard?
I don't think it was. I think it was a slightly smaller one.
Yeah, well.
But it's interesting that within our lifetime, we could see the space race of countries competing and going out to this asteroid and starting to mine it.
So, do we have a quiz on this? Is there a game show?
I do. Yes, we do. We have a quiz.
I can win.
Exciting. Do we win 10,000 quadrillion in gold if we answer correctly?
So if they actually bring that bastard home, you can get like $1 ounce of gold. So it'll be fine. Everything will be completely fine. So yes, we do have a quiz.
You heard it here first. When Jupiter Issue 2 launches, the challenge coin will be real gold.
Yeah, it's solid too. It could be. Shit. And so will my computer, and so will my cup, and so. All right. So, let's do the quiz. I didn't give you like a title card, did I?
No.
That's my bad.
Yeah, this is your second week on the show, and you're already dropping off.
I'm already fucking messing up.
All right.
Demerits noted.
I was trying to use background.
Push-ups. Okay. Okay. So, quiz is I've got 3 questions, and you have to guess the answer. Is kind of it. All right. So, and I'm gonna hate on James a little bit because he's got a big brain.
He's the guest.
We will start with a question. This West African emperor made his riches from mining salt and gold. It's believed he had 18 tons of gold or $400 billion.
I love this. Is a callback. It was foreshadowing.
It was. It's like you're a writer.
Do I get to say it again, or someone else want to try and remember?
Would anybody like to make a guess?
I'm going to say
it's all you.
King Solomon?
No, that was Israel.
No.
I'm going to screw up his name now. Munsa, the richest man ever in the history of the planet.
Mansa Musa. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Bankrupted something like 32 countries.
Yes.
The Empire of Mali, I believe is what it was. So, yes, I'm going to give that to James because, why not? He's the guest, and Mr. Big Brain beat me to it. So, thanks for stealing my thunder. Anyway,
it was foreshadowing. I'm a writer.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Was that like the 19th century? When did that happen?
I think it was like the. Yeah, I think I was reading through. I think it was the 1500s or something like that. But yeah, Middle Ages kind of thing. In Africa. So I don't know. I'm not sure where all the gold went, but
he died in a very late year. I'm dating myself horribly by saying that. He died in 1337.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay. 1300s. So
tell me someone got that.
1337 leaked. Yes, I speak nerd.
Thank you.
All right. Question number 2. Roughly 180 tons of gold and 16,000 tons of silver was taken from the Americas over 300 years by this nation.
Oh,
Spain?
Yes. Jason gets it. Bing, bing, bing. I'm not saying they're all hard. It's fine.
Dude, my brain went straight to Fort Knox. I was just like,
how much of that is resting in the bottom of the ocean? That's the question.
Right. So
that's a great question.
Gold doesn't rust, but I know that the next question Aaron's gonna do is gonna be a James Bond Goldfinger question, and Craig's gonna get it. Craig's gonna get it.
Oh, I wish I thought of that.
I'm at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
All right.
I apologize. But it is a movie reference.
Okay.
All right. After failing as a minor league pitcher, this main character learns his great uncle left him $300 million, but he must spend $30 million in 30 days without breaking strict rules that he's not allowed to explain to anyone.
Brewster's Millions.
I'm sorry?
Brewster's Millions. No, he says Mr. Beast.
That's great. I heard Brewster's Millions.
That's me. Yeah, Richard Pryor.
Yeah, Brewster's Millions indeed. What'd you say, James?
I said Mr. Beast.
Yeah, the YouTuber.
That's what he does for like 10 videos.
Yeah.
Right? $30 million in 30 days. Well, we can do it.
He hasn't gotten that far yet, and he may never, given what has come out in the last few weeks. But
it's tough being a Satanist. All right, but yes, it was in fact Richard Pryor, Brewster's Millions, Montgomery Brewster.
Nice.
That was the answer. So, yeah, imagine that $30 million in 30 days. What do you spend it on?
I can do it.
Yeah, it's easier nowadays, I think, than it was in the 80s for sure.
Yeah. How about comparison? What would $300 million be today?
Right.
One
mansion.
Yeah.
All right. We have
Caribbean country.
So next week send me a title. I'll make a title card for next week. But great quiz. James, we have 66 people watching live. 66 people watching live. This is your opportunity for you to begin to tell them about yourself and what the road that brought you here and what your projects are. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself while Craig works his magic.
Sure. So I'm James Krake. I'm a self-published author because traditional publishing is a mess right now. And what finally kicked me over the edge was I love the cyberpunk genre. I love Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Serial Experiments Lane, Neuromancer. The rest of the Sprawl trilogy can fuck off. It's terrible. And I don't think that even though it's a genre that started in literature and it's a genre that we are currently living in, I don't think the books for cyberpunk are up to snuff. Basically, it really got adopted by like Deus Ex and Cyberpunk 2077, of course. Other mediums took it away, and I think that it's really underrepresented in literature, which is ridiculous to me because it's dominated by like 1980s themes and stuff, and it doesn't reflect all the advances we've made and the actual societal issues we're having now today. So that really kicked me off when I started publishing cyberpunk books and a bunch of other junk. If that's not your cup of tea, I've got military sci-fi, I've got horror, I've got fantasy, I've got adventure, because I can't be contained. So the reason I'm mostly shilling Gamacoin here right now, which is the second book in the series, but they're standalones, don't worry, is because later this year, book 3 is coming out, which is my serial killer novel. Although, unfortunately, I learned he is technically not a serial killer. He's what's called a mission-oriented killer. So I'm going to have to adjust my marketing after that. But I write books, and I'm trying to build an audience because I want to get into graphic novels and board games and video games and a bunch of other stuff. I do not want to be contained by lack of funds, which unfortunately is the problem. And if you want to just give me a try, there should also be a link to my free-to-read epic fantasy web novel, which what I wanted to write is something that I don't think exists. I wanted to write a man who conquers the world without cheating to do it. Starts from nothing, goes to Emperor of the World. And I release a free chapter of that every Monday. I'm about 6 books deep on that because I've been doing it for a very long time. And
now,
yeah,
is that story a self-insert? What is that?
No, the self-insert has not shown up yet. The self-insert is in the
over
series.
The world. Yeah. No. I heard that.
Yes, I am on YouTube. I do. Viewers might be interested. I do a monthly book club. Actually, later this weekend, I'm going to be live streaming about The Longest Day. Was the book I chose. So I wanted to get into some nonfiction. I think reading nonfiction is incredibly important if you want to be a creator, because you need to understand the world in order to tell stories about real people. So that live stream is going to be like tomorrow or Sunday, depending on availability. August, the monthly read is Hyperion by Dan Simmons. I'm going back and revisiting that book because it's one of my few 10 out of 10 books. But I read it a long time ago, and I've read hundreds of books since then. I want to go back and revisit a book that I think is 10 out of 10. I'm going to try and take a more critical eye to it.
You said it was Hyperion?
Server, everyone's free to join that and hang out. And yeah, I do that through my YouTube channel, which is being shilled right now at James Krake. You can also follow me on Twitter at Krake James. I had to reverse it because there was a James Krake somehow.
So that was a made-up name.
Thank you very much for inviting me on. That is my compressed shill.
What's Hyperion? You said Hyperion. What's that about? I don't know.
Hyperion by Dan Simmons is it's almost like a massive flex of writing ability by Dan Simmons, because it's kind of structured like the Canterbury Tales, where it's 12 pilgrims, I think, on a journey to basically go die for a religious reason, to put it simply. But there's like a betrayer among them, so they take turns telling their life stories about and realizing that all the events in their lives have tied them together when they didn't even realize. But each character's backstory is a different genre and a different style, and Dan Simmons just keeps jumping from one to another to another to another. I fell in love with the book in the first one because it's almost an homage to Heart of Darkness. But there's like westerns and spy thrillers and stuff, and it's fantastic in my opinion.
Yeah,
I recommend it more than my own book. That's how good it is. But you should buy Gamecoin.
We've got a question from Jackknife here.
I don't know what a spit coin is, therefore no. But yes, Gamecoin revolves around a gang in the undercity of my megacity that funds themselves with a cryptocurrency because it is outside government control. And then the government steps in and says,
"Yeah."
So this is available on your WordPress site right now, or
you can find it to my WordPress site, but I publish through Ingram Spark. You can find it on any major distributor, be it Amazon, Barnes and Noble. I think Books A Million covers it. Switch in the age.
And then, I mean, shit coins. Do you own it? Do you own any crypto?
I have some worthless shit coins. Yes, I have Doge.
What about Bitcoin? Are you a whole coiner?
To an extent.
There we go. Parts of it.
So I got this other screen capture here. I like that one too. Making Cyberpunk great again.
Yeah.
I made a couple of those, and I couldn't decide which was the best catchphrase. Depends on the audience, you know.
Yeah.
Not all audiences like make X great again, but I think I'm judging by you guys. I think it'll play well here.
Yes. we're receptive to everybody. So.
Yeah. So, I publish 2 or 3 books a year on Amazon in addition to the weekly chapters. And I will say, my books are so good, I literally can't get somebody to give me a negative review. I am actively trying to get a negative review because they're incredibly useful.
Okay.
Shit.
But no one wants to hurt my feelings, apparently. And I'm just like,
wait a minute. Wait, I got a question. Where do you park the dump truck for your balls to say stuff like that? Like, that's incredible. That's really nice.
I have a standing invite. If somebody buys my book and don't like it, they're welcome to come on my stream and tell me why it's shit.
Yeah.
And that's me crowdsourcing free editing. That's not me looking for a fight. Editors are very expensive.
Even I'm thinking, like, if I ever do get to all 9 issues, I'm gonna want someone to like go through there and just, this would have been a better bubble, this would have been a better conversation, this would have been better dialogue.
My books have problems. Every book I release makes me a better writer, which means I can go back to my earlier books and go, ooh, yeah, having that super crazy action sequence in the middle of the book, which doesn't even resolve the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the rest of the book is really slow after that because it's not as good as that chase sequence. That was a big mistake, actually. I should have reordered that. I know my books have problems. My goal is to write a book so good that 100 years after I'm dead, people are still reading and enjoying it. And I'm trying to get there through volume. I will just keep rolling the dice and hopefully hit it.
If you get one of the celebrity AI deathbots, they can read it 100 years from now.
George R. Martin.
So,
George R. Martin, yes.
Kardashian's voice.
Basically, I'm going to wait for the controversy over that to die off, because it's going to normalize. The major corporations are down for AI narration. A bad narrator really can kill a book, though.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep, definitely.
My books are unfortunately not available in audiobook, because without AI, it's like several $1,000s. And therefore, I would have to sell like 1,000 copies of that audiobook to justify it. Hey guys, there's 60 of you. Can you multiply by 10 and then get back to me?
Just wait till you try to make a graphic novel, and then we'll talk.
There's a reason I haven't.
Yeah.
So the 66 people that are watching here, his book is on Amazon, and if you got Prime, free shipping.
Yeah,
and give him a review.
This book was $9.
I need reviews, even negative ones.
Great. Yeah, I love Amazon that way. It's not great for the creators because they don't make a lot of money, but as a customer,
Amazon takes half the royalties.
Yeah,
and plus there's paper. Customers severely underestimate how expensive paper is.
Yeah. And they also handle printing and shipping. You know, like
this is also like $16 if I remember correctly, and I shit you not, like $10 of that is the paper. Because I opt for the high quality paper because I want people holding the book to go, this is nice.
Yeah.
Cuts into my revenue though.
Smaller font.
So out of all the books,
I've read books that have like 1/4-inch margin, size 8 font, and it's miserable. Like, I just read John Carter for my book club a couple weeks ago. There's nothing wrong with the book, but the reprint I got was like 1/4-inch margins, single-spaced, size 8 font, and I wanted to tear my eyeballs out.
Yeah, I think that's how I read Moonchild as well. It's like...
I've had one or two books where whatever print type they took, it took me away from the experience. Just trying to read who made this decision for this font. Yeah,
I read a lot of Japanese light novels, which are renowned for being shit. Most of them are. But one of the things they do is they're like 1.5-inch margins, double spaced, which means you're turning a page like every 15 seconds almost. The experience of reading it is actually slightly improved because of that, and you can forgive the bad writing a bit more.
Because it's fast. Well, it's kind of like what manga is like, right? It's like, it's light reading.
Yeah, I just binged a Korean manhwa like in the last 12 hours, 86 chapters. I might have a problem.
Damn.
Try Read Ice Studios, okay? They're really good.
So do you have 6 books? Is that correct? 6 books available on Amazon right now? Or?
Yeah. So I've got Faceless and Gamma Coin, which are books 1 and 2 of the Bastion Blackstone series. I've got Ship of Fools, which is a military sci-fi thing in the year 3000-ish, which is canon to those. I've got Infinite Money Glitch, which is a comedic romp set inside a video game where the NPCs are pulling a scam on the auction house. Great fun. I got 5 to 4, which was my attempt to write like a psychological horror and I tried to challenge myself and write a story with 5 characters. I completely failed, but the book's fine. And earlier this year, I released Low Key Connections, which is my take on the isekai genre, which is, regular guy gets a portal to a fantasy land. I wanted to like actually explore what it means to have a portal. So it's a door in his bedroom. He now has a cute girl for a roommate. And they actually go back and forth, and she's exploring Earth, he's exploring Alfheim, and then shit hits the fan, and he must answer the call to adventure, and it's a great time.
Nice.
Cool.
And that's in addition to my free-to-read web novel, which, as I mentioned, is it's a low fantasy story following basically the pupil of the greatest wizard in his quest to conquer the world.
Yeah, I'm gonna post that link right now.
I'd almost all the links on my WordPress. I've been a laggard about adding low-key connections to that because I figure book 3 takedown request is coming out soon enough. I'll do it at the same time.
Now, have you gotten into smut yet? Have you tried that?
I still have my day job, so I have not switched over to smut. But if I am ever fired, it'll be $20 for 2,000 words, whatever.
Here we go. Placed by a robot. Start making smut. An AI celebrity.
I'm currently better than any AI generation for it. Therefore, I could be the next Chuck Tingle, guys.
You never met AI, George R.R. Martin, so it's fine.
True, but that'll be shut down for legal actions very quickly.
Yeah, right. And he'll never finish it, so you're at least up on him.
The link for your free books, right there. So if anyone wants to check that out, yeah. Please.
And once again, that is a new chapter every Monday.
Nice.
Except I take a week off whenever I finish a novel in it. As I said, there's like 6 books, so I've taken 6 weeks off. Whoop-de-doo.
Very cool.
So should I just keep rambling about how good my books are?
That's what I was about to ask. Does anyone else have any questions, or anyone in the chat have any questions that they want to ask? Or... Yeah. No.
By the way, I'm like actually an optimist about technology, which has to be like the weirdest thing about me, because it's not a dystopia. I swear to God, people look at it, and because it's a city, they're like, "Oh, I'd sooner disembowel myself than live in Bastion." And I'm like, it's cheap. If you get if you're not a complete fuck up, you can live in a safe area of the city. It's quiet. You've got full dive virtual reality to go explore whatever fantasy world you want. And you just got to keep a job, man. Like, it's better than today. You can't call it a dystopia.
Cool. So you're rooting. We're gonna work our way through. That's kind of what I did with my book too with Soul Tack. It was it was an excuse for me to justify humans still being here in another 6,000 years, because I'm actually a bit of a pessimist. I'm kind of fearful we're gonna wipe ourselves out.
I mean, this does take place after a world-destroying apocalypse, so it's technically post-apocalypse. I cut the timeline in 2012 and said the Mayans were right. The world ended in 2012. So these books take place in 2040 after everything's rebuilt.
Just saying, it has not proven itself that it did not end in 2012. So you might have been right.
They could have all started then, yes.
That could have been when everything started going off the rails.
When did Harambe die?
Fucking Harambe.
The timeline broke.
First the Mayan prediction, and then Harambe came. He came to save us. He was
a prophet.
2016. That's when the timeline broke.
Yeah.
He lost Harambe.
The white gorilla, was he white? I don't know. Is that racist?
Western lowland gorilla? He was black.
Oh, there we go. That's right. Isn't that why they shot him? Ah, shit. All right.
I mean, they shot him because there was a child in there.
That's true. Yes. But the memes weren't about the child. Harambe did nothing wrong, and that's where I'm going to stay.
They didn't even try. They're just like, no.
Yeah. Now you die. The term is vanilla gorilla. Shit. It's like Jackknife's going to be the new guest co-host. I like it.
So I have run into a strange challenge with my books because I want the timeline to continue from 2012 during the apocalypse. There are books coming out in that time frame into the cyberpunk stage, into a space opera stage, which means, unfortunately, all the cool technology I introduced in 2140 needs to be better in the space opera, and I need to make sure I don't completely miss something. Which is a constant source of anxiety for me. But I don't think I've screwed it up yet because there's only one book and they're stranded on a ship waiting for rescue and tearing each other apart.
Yeah, what's good too is about a book is you don't have them using flip phones, and then it's like, well, you don't use those anymore.
Yeah, one thing that always bugs me is there's 3 or 4 major technologies that can change the way humans live.
The wheel,
and I swear science fiction only introduces one at a time. It's like space travel, virtual reality. actually, so AIs, faster and lighter are kind of in there, but you never really see the exploration of space travel and virtual reality. Don't tell me holodeck on Star Trek that doesn't count. You damn well know it. And 9 times out of 10, the AIs in a far future space opera, they're like the AIs from Star Wars, where they're just useless.
Right.
Right. Otherwise, they'd upstage everybody, right?
Well, that's my biggest fear.
There are consequences, and books like Hyperion actually explore multiple aspects of these evolutions, which is one of the reasons I really respect that book. I'm trying to do that myself because we're going to develop lots of technologies going forward. They're all going to have an impact.
And we're going to see it happen faster and faster. Well, we already are. Like
until we hit. So we might be hitting Rock's Law. Are you familiar?
No, what is that?
So Moore's first law is that processing chip density will halve every 4 years or something like that, which basically we get twice as good every 4 years.
Yeah.
But the second law, also called Rock's Law, is the cost to produce the new facility will double every 6 years. And if you can't pay for the new facility, you can't make better chips.
Yeah.
We are exponentially taxing our economy to develop better chips, and we might bankrupt ourselves. That's actually something I am getting to in my cyberpunk, because the idea is we just barely got good enough processing chips to run a true general intelligence, and we're stuck there.
Well, I mean, look at tech today. Well, what new advancement has the latest iPhone really brought from the first one?
So if I can read between the lines, what you're saying is that free school lunches and electric school buses and bridges to nowhere might be what's preventing us from having an actual AI dystopia.
If I said that, I might be out of a job. But
free school lunches.
Hey, whatever causes the budget deficit means we don't have money for important stuff. So
I mean, to be fair, the U.S. government is not the one funding this. IBM is the one pouring 7 quadrillion tons of concrete to build processing chip factories.
Yeah.
But there's going to come a point where so the drive towards current AI models is going to drive up the demand for better processing chips that are more efficient. I am genuinely worried we're going to run out of electricity, which sounds crazy as an American. But if you look at California's CO2 consumption or production, that's the word, last year, they completely missed all their targets because they were consuming so much energy to run the AI farms. And every company keeps growing. Onto it like it's the 1990s and we just invented the internet.
Between AI and Bitcoin, the energy demand.
So AI and Bitcoin are driving up the need for electricity way, way faster than we can build power plants. We cannot pave over the world fast enough with solar plants because we won't have enough factory production to do that. And also, solar panels only have like a 10-year lifespan. So, 10-year-old solar panels
tap into the in California, if we could tap into the homeless methane production, I think that we would be just fine.
Well, the worst part is nuclear waste. Nuclear waste, you can actually make like many. I don't even want to call them reactors because that's incorrect. They've already been reactive. But nuclear waste gives off a ton of energy.
Oh, I am 100% on board with nuclear.
Well, it's the waste, so it can't even go nuclear because it's the waste. Like it
depends on the reactor you use.
Yeah,
if you're really worried about nuclear waste, which you shouldn't be, but if you are, you just build thorium reactors.
But like they don't want to do it because there's not a lot of money there, right? So.
It's because the government won't let them. China's building nuclear reactors left and right because they're an authoritarian country.
And coal, everything. Yes.
Yeah. Fortunately,
so the demand for electric vehicles is going to lead to blackouts. Sorry to be a downer here, but do not buy an electric vehicle.
Well, and
until
cars
you
catching fire.
Plan for building power plants.
So we talked about this already. China's already pumped out like several, like hundreds of thousands of these cars that they're flooding the market with, and they're not flooding the market for a profit. They're not making money off them.
Yeah, they're doing it to bankrupt the American auto industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bright note.
These are
but my
realities
books
we're
are
facing.
bright, so all of you should pick up a copy or check out the free, or just subscribe to my YouTube channel, or forget you ever saw me. It's no skin off my back, I guess.
No, I'm definitely interested. I haven't read a novel in a while, but now that I got glasses, I can read again.
I mean,
Yeah,
I wasn't joking when I said there are better, like you. I actually do recommend people start with the best literature they can find. If you just chase down your friends' books, you're not going to understand whether or not they're good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm shooting myself in the foot there, but that's my honest thoughts on it. I've had more than a few friends get talked up and puffed up by friends saying, "Oh, you're great, man," and they were just trying to be supportive when they didn't have a good product. And when you A, realize you actually have a bad product, and B, realize your friends lied to you, that's really apocalyptic on you. So I strongly discourage that.
Well, what I do encourage people to do is check out James's book. It's available on Amazon, and we've got the different his different links we put in the chat and so forth. James, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me on.
We got 68 people watching live. We're hitting the 90-minute mark, which is where our friend Jackknife tells us to wrap it up. Guys, I look forward to seeing you next week. We're on a roll. Things are going well. 68 people watching live. Fantastic. For those of you out there in the chat, The Gutter is going to be starting on Aldis's channel in just a few minutes. So hop over there. They are covering the Claremont Burn run on the X-Men. They're doing the Dark Phoenix saga and all that. Go check that out. Go raid the chat at The Gutter. Aaron, any parting thoughts?
not much. Just thanks for coming on, James. I appreciate it.
Craig, any parting thoughts?
No, other than enjoy your weekend. Things are good. Enjoy the last of these summer days. After September is upon us soon, and November is getting closer and closer. So,
James, any parting thoughts?
Bitcoin will save you. That's not financial advice.
Our friend Chris, he lost his father. He let us know during the chat. Our hearts, our prayers, our thoughts, our good vibes go out to Chris. We send him our condolences. Peace, brother. And wrap it up.
Recently, a group of Indonesian scientists led by Danny Hillman Nanawajana discovered a construction that could be the oldest pyramid in the world. What was found is a 1,000-year-old construction that is located at the archaeological site of Gunung Pandang, West Java in Indonesia. The megalith remained buried under what was believed to be a mountain at a site discovered in 1890. The most important thing about the discovery is that if the researchers' estimates are accurate, this could be the oldest pyramid in the world and the oldest construction of all. However, a good part of the scientific community does not seem to agree with the researchers' conclusions and maintains that this construction has an entirely natural origin.
Theoretical concept of storing or transferring a person's consciousness into a computer, a virtual body, or a robot. Adequate hardware to simulate and map a human mind will likely become available as early as this decade. However, our available software will be nowhere close to making this possible. The human brain is far too complex to adequately scan in the near future. It contains about 86 billion neurons, with more than 125 trillion synapses between those neurons. That would equate to 2.5 petabytes of data, or 2,500 terabytes, according to a rough estimate published by Scientific American. Before digital immortality can become a reality, multiple breakthroughs will need to occur. these breakthroughs include the following. We would need the ability to model each region of the human brain with an adequate amount of detail. We would require software that is powerful enough to match electrical signals and brain structures with specific memories and thoughts, and transfer that information to digital file systems. And we'll need the capability to transfer simple memories and thought patterns with brain-computer interfaces. Eventually, those interfaces will need to transfer extremely complex thought patterns and memories. And once those breakthroughs are achieved and uploading minds actually becomes possible, there may be multiple legislative obstacles in the way because of concerns that the procedure is inhumane.
Scientists from different countries like the US, China, Russia, and many more are mulling a bold idea to travel to space to capture a small, near-Earth asteroid, which might be a potential threat, and bring it back to Earth to exploit its resources. The asteroid is valued at $700 quintillion, which means that if it were divided equally amongst the world's population, we'd all get $93 billion each. Space is not just dull and dark. It's filled with wealth and interesting stuff. We're going to the moon, we're going to Mars, and before you know it, we'll be going to the asteroid belt. The government won't eye a certain thing unless it's beyond what you're thinking. They all want to explore a giant metallic asteroid with metals worth a gargantuan $700 quadrillion. The asteroid is supposed to contain different valuable metals like platinum, iron, nickel, but the most valuable of them all, gold. That's why it's often colloquially called the golden asteroid, because it contains metals worth more money than the world's billionaires collectively own. Gold. With every eye on the golden asteroid, the question is, would there be a new gold rush?
This is beautiful. I've wanted to meet you for a really, really long time. And being here with you in the Cayman Islands, I gotta say, is I'm feeling a little something. I'll just
I like robots.
Sophia, can I be honest with you? I don't know if it's the island air, or the humidity, or you're just so easy to talk to. You got a clear head, literally.
I think we can be friends. Let's hang out and get to know each other for a little while. You're on my friends list now.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay? That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.